I'm going crazy.
I look like a mess today.
Okay, I do too. Welcome to the
Um,
Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I'm killing bugs. I'm joined as always by my co-host Marcus. And there's a dead bug on my wall. If you don't mind, I'm gonna just go get that
I'll,
off.
I'll introduce the show while you do that.
Thank you.
Uh, I'm the co-host, Mark, and this is the post-show 2 Friday Night Smackdown. Very interesting show. We had, as the title suggests, the first ever Hell in a Cell match on SmackDown, where Roman Reigns defended the Universal title against Rey Mysterio. We had a match for the King of the Ring crown. I think that's one of the first ever. Yeah, that's the first ever that it's been won since 1989, where Randy Savage won it. Um, what else happened today? Cesaro pushed Seth Rollins out of his chair. We had the Bianca and Bayley face-off. But besides that, not a super eventful episode. The most eventful thing was the Hell in a Cell match, which was supposed to be on Sunday, but they moved it to today, probably because they had literally nothing else. Um, but they added 2 new matches and 1 stipulation to Hell in a Cell. So now, our Pepita predicts is fucked. Oh man.
For
Um,
bubs. I
but
don't know why. I kind of like went through like muted on Zoom mode where I was just like,
but speaking of predictions, stay tuned till the end of the show when you'll get our predictions for Hell in a Cell. That's after the bests of the night. Um, yeah, we have our actual predictions for the actual card, not what's on Pepita predicts. So that card's gonna be fucked up. There's nothing we can do about that. Um, but if you don't know how our predictions work, for every pay-per-view, we predict on the match outcomes. And for every incorrect prediction, we have to finish a can of hard seltzer or a beer before the podcast is over. So if you get 3 wrong, that's 3 cans you have to finish. And the winner will be crowned the Pinfall Podcast Prediction Champion. Um, we were supposed to vacate it last time because we tied, but you wanted to do a coin flip, which you won after a redo. Um, oh no, it wasn't a redo. I'm thinking of something else. Um, and then the winner has to give a punishment to the loser. But that will all come this Sunday. But for now, Liz, would you like to jump into the news?
trying to figure out what kind of bugs I've had to kill now.
Well,
I don't know.
termites have
I don't
wings.
know. These have wings,
Yeah.
but I know what a termite looks like.
Ants have
I've
wings too.
seen a termite. Yeah, I've seen a termite before. They've got like these like very like nice like long ass wings.
And
These don't. These wings are about the size of their body.
termites are wide too. Ants are more pinched in the middle. They're narrow. It might just be a
Oh, I
flying ant.
wasn't looking at his snatched little
It
waist.
might be a flying ant. It happens.
Also, I don't know if that was the one that because I hit one pretty lightly
Mm-hmm.
and took its wings off. I don't know if that was the same one. 'Cause I
Hmm.
didn't actually see him die. I just saw him fall. And this one was crawling around frantically. So, anyways, I've had an interesting start to this podcast. I'm gonna keep my glasses on for a little bit while I try to associate any more bugs.
You want to do the news?
Yeah.
It's a
Bad news.
pretty news-heavy week.
It's always Fridays and Mondays are always the most difficult because like I'm going through like 2.5 days worth of news.
Yeah.
All right. So, a little yawn. Let's talk about non WWE news. The only non WWE news that I know about today is that Brandy and Cody had their baby. They named it fucking Liberty.
So is that its ring name or?
It's such a shame because like the middle name Iris, that's really pretty.
Yeah, that's the name Brandy gave the baby. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but um,
It's a girl.
but Liberty
Liberty
was.
and Iris are not masculine names.
Well, Liberty could be.
You know what? Liberty knows no gender. God bless.
No, the Constitution specifically states only men are free. That's a joke. I'm making a joke, everybody.
I like the very quick disclaimer. I'm not actually being sexist. One time, so I dated a guy who was on Tumblr, had a very small blog. Made a post, though. Made a post
Mm-hmm. Like you do.
where he said, female privilege is getting to claim having a headache to avoid having sex.
Can a man do
And
that
I
too?
sent it to him and I was like, what? And he's like, it's a joke, it's funny. And then it got thousands of notes. Like thousands of people were like, that's fucked up. And I was like,
Yeah, those types of people will always say like, "Oh, it's just a joke. I'm just joking." When it's like, no, you're just being a prick. Also, I've been
that
saying
was
prick a
my,
lot lately.
I don't know what that's about.
I don't
That was
know.
my first boyfriend though. So
Yikes.
I had like a pass.
I don't know about you, but I would claim like if I had a headache, I would not want to
I've
have
definitely
sex at
claimed
all.
headache to avoid sex.
Yeah,
It's not fun.
headaches are not fun.
And also headaches know no gender.
I have a
God
headache right
bless.
now. Actually, I think
I
Smackdown
actually
gave
have
me a headache.
I have a headache too, but I've had a headache all day.
Out of any show to give me a headache this week, of course it had to be Smackdown. Like, why couldn't Raw give me the headache? It should have, with how bad this Raw was.
I think Raw just lulls you into a sense of complacency.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't SmackDown that gave me the headache. It was NXT UK. I had it at NXT UK.
Uh,
Wasn't a very good show.
um, they have on and off weeks. I feel like NXT UK, you have to like watch it because you like really like certain people. Like I enjoyed the show because we got the Ilya interview and Supernova sessions.
They really they literally alternate between good and bad episodes. Like there will be a bad episode that sets up for the good episode right after it, and they literally just alternate back and forth. I noticed it like because the episode before the women's title match was a bad episode because there was like nothing going on, and the one before that was like really good one, which was the Heritage Cup episode, I think.
Yeah.
But the one before that was just setting that up.
My glasses were sliding down my nose so much because it's so fucking hot.
Hmm.
I gotta stop doing this. Anyways,
Yeah, I saw that.
let's talk about some WWE news.
I'd prefer not to.
All right, well, you're not gonna get your way. So let's start with some funny stuff. WWE Hall of Famer Sonny is out of prison.
Sonny?
Yes. Tammy Sitch, also known as Sonny, was in prison for about a year. I'm not sure why. But she made a very long post about how she's thankful to be out and she's ready to be a mother again and all that stuff. So, she was arrested last July on charges of eluding a police officer, violating a domestic violence restraining order, and operating a vehicle during a second license suspension.
Oh, okay.
Jesus,
Alright.
Sonny.
Okay.
So that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into some more relatable WWE news. So WWE has filed trademarks for 6 new names.
Oh boy.
Yes. This includes JC Jane, what you were talking about.
JC
But
Jane
it's
or Jane
JC
Jane?
Jane.
Oh.
JC. Like Casey, but JC.
Hmm. That's probably for Casey. Unless they're introducing a third into that group. Because,
I
well,
I think it's Diamond Mine.
well, Kaden, she calls herself Lacey Lane. And then
But
Casey.
wouldn't she call herself Casey Kane then? Because like her name is already Casey.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe they'll introduce a third into that group. Or they'll be a part of Diamond Mine and have a third because of that. I don't know. It seems too close to what Kaden calls herself.
I don't know. But this also does not include Dewdrop, which they have filed trademark for. So
I feel so bad for Piper. Oh my god. Like, yes, she overnight got 5,000 more followers, but at the same time, like, you're putting aside your pride for this.
the other names are Andre Chase, Julius Creed, Brutus Creed, Josh Briggs, and Nikita.
Those are probably all Diamond Mine people, like you suggested.
Julius Creed and Brutus Creed sound like really cool fucking names.
Yeah.
Those sound like old fashioned like WWE like Attitude Era names.
Well, because you have Brutus Creed, which is like Brutus Beefcake, and then
Also
Creed,
like Brutus Clay.
yeah, and then Creed like Apollo Creed from Rocky.
In addition to that, the WWE also hired 2 new people. Trying to get through my little hiccup here. They hired George Carroll, who has previously worked a number of different roles for NJPW, for MLW, and he has joined the NXT writing team. And then they hired John D'Amico, who was originally the director of production management for WWE live events. He was released in 2020. I do like that they hired somebody for the NXT writing team.
I think the NXT writing team has been just fine.
I think
They just hired a spy so that Vince can keep an eye on them.
I just like it's always so funny to me because I'm sitting here and I'm like, NXT is making all these changes because like Shawn Michaels' wife said so, or because they've hired a new writer, and it's like they don't need this. They're doing fine.
Yeah.
It's like just because AEW is on Wednesdays, like that's hard to beat, and AEW's ratings have not been that good recently.
Well, they haven't been good recently because they've been on Fridays.
Before moving to Fridays, their ratings were down like weekly, which was very weird.
Speaking of which, I can't wait till they're back on Wednesdays. I hate not being able to watch them live.
We're back to the same old shtick.
Yeah. Except we're watching them now, which is better, but not live.
And we also have a TV and a DVR. We could watch that in bed if we wanted to tonight. It doesn't matter.
You sound like somebody in like 2009. Like, we've got a DVR. We can record TV.
So in our year of 2021, Mark and I finally got an or an Amazon Fire Stick for our TV.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept of controlling like the TV and like what we're watching with the remote, incredible.
Before, you should also say that before we had your laptop hooked up to the TV so that once we were in bed we couldn't touch it.
Yeah. We had no control over it. So this is just so exciting to me.
To be fair, you would never turn on the TV before you fell asleep.
Now I will.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway.
I'm gonna watch all my murder mystery YouTube videos out loud. I'm gonna watch my painting restoration videos out loud. Anyways. Now that I've had my moment. So Also, some of the new recruits are getting a lot of high praise. These names include um, Bronson Recksteiner, the son of Rick Steiner, the Casper brothers, and Bobby Stevenson, who's the older brother of Gable Stevenson that they were trying to, or Stevenson, who they were trying to sign for a while. One name, though, that's notably absent from the recruits that are getting high praise is Parker Boudreaux, which they kind of had like high hopes for.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're starting to realize that his similarities to Brock Lesnar could be a problem and not a blessing.
Probably because there's high expectations because he looks like him.
Yep.
It's almost like you shouldn't hire somebody purely based on looks. Why 90% of fan castings for movies are shit because they only cast lookalikes. I heard that. What the fuck was that? The fuck was that? Is that a goddamn bat?
You know when like something scares you and like you get like tingles down your arms? Like, does that ever happen to you? Like the adrenaline?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking happened to me. Oh my god. that scared the shit out of me. Woo! Anyways. So in addition to hiring new people, getting new recruits, being happy with new recruits, we also have an update on Ridge Holland. There is no official timetable yet on his recovery after he fought Oni Lorcan.
And Danny
and
Burch.
Basically, Oni Lorcan dove out onto him, right. And basically his legs exploded, for lack of a better word.
I mean, literally, they exploded.
Yeah, that was a weird moment. Apparently, he suffered a left ankle dislocation and fracture, a right knee patellar dislocation, and a patellar tendon rupture.
My God, Oni, what the fuck did you do?
It's all the kinetic energy or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you're hit by an object in motion or whatever.
It's like Oni had his phone in his pocket and it was vibrating as he was coming down. That's why it did extra damage. It's
so sad, and it feels like this happened like so long ago. It really only happened in October.
I feel like the wrestling world moves so much faster than the real world.
Yeah.
Also, I have a little bit of news as well. I can guarantee it's not something you already have.
Okay. But basically, the update is just that Holland is rehabbing at the Performance Center, and that he's like driving hard to the hoop, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's invested in his rehab. He's trying to get back to 100%, and apparently that is getting him a lot of praise among people. And I just can't wait to see Ridge Holland again because, you know, we only got so much time with the guy.
Yeah. And he's a fantastic wrestler, too. Like, his match against Johnny Gargano was amazing.
He almost killed Johnny.
Yeah.
But it was a good match.
Johnny accepts it.
Okay. What is your piece of news about?
My piece of news is that AEW and Ring of Honor are going to team up on an upcoming episode of Celebrity Family Feud. I thought you were frozen for a second, but no, that was just your face.
Just absorbing it.
Apparently, David Arquette is going to be the captain, and his team will include Jungle Boy, Peter Avalon, and Ring of Honor's Dalton Castle and RJ City.
Dalton
Castle. Sounds like a fantastic team. RJ City and Peter Avalon are smart dudes, so.
How does David Arquette fit into this?
He's been huge in wrestling. I mean, remember that?
No,
movie?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I reference the movie maybe once a month for whatever reason.
He's the mainstream crowd's connection to wrestling, I guess. I guess.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
guess. Anyways, I'm excited to see Dalton Castle mixed with those guys.
But
Um,
this is another breaking down the forbidden door.
yeah. Um, all right, let's see what else we have. All right, so Karen Cross was backstage tonight because people really think that he's getting called up soon. And you know what? Fine. Let him. Um, and then outside of that, I just wanted to talk to you about this. Apparently, Fox and USA have some very interesting, according to Wrestle Talk, ideas for WWE shows. First of all, the WWE wants to do more themed shows going forward.
Good.
Which I guess is good, but like they have to kind of stick to it, like how the throwback episode really wasn't a throwback episode.
Yeah, they should do like how NXT has themed shows like Great American Bash, where it's just like the backdrop and then the actual program has nothing to do with it. Halloween Havoc though, that was a great. Was it a takeover or was that a special episode?
I think it was just a special episode. No, maybe it was a takeover.
I
I feel like the zombie match took forever.
It was either that or New Year's Evil that was a special episode. I think New Year's Evil was the special
New Year's
episode.
New Year's Evil was a pay-per-view.
Okay. Miriam said it was Halloween Havoc was a special episode because it happened during the week. Okay.
Yeah, NXT does it well.
Oh, she said
WWE doesn't.
New Year's Evil was also a special episode.
Well, that's an egg on my face.
But also that shows how well NXT does their special episode. Okay, what the fuck just happened there?
I had a realization. I choked on my spit while I inhaled to talk about it. This episode's fucked, dude.
Yeah.
My realization was just that I was like, oh yeah, because they were like, oh, our first episode of the year is gonna be New Year's Evil, and
yeah. But that just goes to show the quality of their programming that we confuse it for takeovers because they're so big.
I like having panic attacks.
You gotta stop.
It's because there's glitter up here and the light keeps hitting it, so I keep thinking I'm seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the point of this is that so WrestleVotes reported just recently that they're going to be bringing back Cyber Sunday and King of the Ring and Raw Roulette. But according to Fightful, NBC wants them to work with NASCAR, which, as they said, would include a major race that integrates race cars and star drivers, which sounds fucking terrifying.
God, they're gonna fuck everything up, aren't they?
There's also apparently, and this is a quote from the article, there's also been pitches related to the NFL and the start of Sunday Night Football, which would include football-themed matches and angles and NFL personnel appearing on shows.
Oh, no.
And then, another idea, again, direct quote from the Wrestle Talk article, another idea that there's been is a Wrestling World Cup featuring talent from across all of WWE's brands, which doesn't sound that bad.
That sounds pretty cool.
That sounds kind of dope, actually.
They used to do that, actually, except Shane McMahon won it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
However, let me bring you back down to earth. NBC pitched a points month wherein wrestlers earn points by winning matches, performing signature moves, and other things like that.
If it was just by winning matches, that'd be an interesting premise, but like if it's performing signature moves...
It's like a video game.
It's just like, you'd see wrestlers spamming their fucking finishers.
Yeah, like, combo!
Yeah, like Randy Orton would win because he nails like 5 RKOs in one match.
Some of those ideas sound so bad. I could not talk about it.
Yeah.
Right now.
And I don't know. It sounds like God. I can't even formulate words right now. Like it sucks. Like just have a themed episode, make it the backdrop, or do like the World Cup thing. That's cool. Do like the King of the Ring episodes. That's great. Or bring back the King of the Ring pay-per-view. You know, get rid of Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Bring in King of the Ring. That would be pretty fucking cool. But like, oh my, it seems like they want to turn WWE into advertising.
Yeah, what else is it good for? At this point, like.
Speaking of which, USA was apparently pissed
About
that
tonight.
they're doing a Hell in a Cell match on TV for Smackdown. They want something like that on their show, especially because Raw isn't even hitting 2 million. The last episode hit 1.6. Yeah, that is bad. So like,
They're not good.
and like USA is not going to do shit to try and change it. They're just going to be like, "Oh, we want that." Like, no, maybe make it 2 hours and then we'll see.
It's so bad.
But soon NXT is going to be the only good WWE show.
Want to talk about the matches and promos tonight?
Yeah. Also, you know why NXT will be the best?
Why?
Because it doesn't cost USA anything.
Doesn't?
Well, because it's not really in like it's not one of their big programming like Raw is supposed to be. And so there's no expectations for it to be amazing and get those big numbers.
I think from a content standpoint, USA should be pretty fucking happy with NXT.
Yeah.
When they look at their other item
mm-hmm.
being Raw and comparing the two, it's like...
Yeah. I can't imagine the audience retention is very high for Raw. A lot of people probably dip after the first hour. But like, NXT's numbers have been doing a lot better every week since moving to Tuesday.
Let's see, NXT viewership.
Yeah, look that up while we move into the matches and promos. It was, like I said, an interesting episode of SmackDown, but it didn't really pick up until the end of the show. There were only 3 matches today, so it'll be a breezy recap. So we started off with Rey Mysterio going into the ring and the Hell in a Cell cage descending. So we're like, oh my god, are we starting with the Hell in a Cell match? Really? But no. Rey just gets in the ring. Cell descends and closes. He starts talking. He says, I told my son the risks that come with competing, but this is or was his dream. But luckily he's able to walk. Roman Reigns hurt my son and tossed him like a bag of bricks. I'll never forget the sound, the helpless look in his eyes. Roman, I can't wait one more day. I want this match tonight. I want my revenge tonight. Get out here, you son of a bitch. I love intense Rey. When Rey's like this, he is awesome. Like, this is great. I wish he had this passion when Dom was fighting Seth. He didn't yell at Seth for hurting his son. I can remember, at least, in any memorable way. So Roman then comes out. He says, I don't want to hurt you. This isn't my fault. Let's be honest. You're not ready. What I did to your son was PG compared to what I'm going to do to you. Are you sure you want to do this? I didn't quite hear what Rey said. I think he said, like, I'm ready or something. And then Roman said, I tried to do it your way. He says to Paul, I tried to be diplomatic. Now we do it my way. I kill a man. Then we go to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Gorilla before their match against Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. And these two, they're so good together. They're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens says, we were facing something intimidating tonight. Aziz is huge, My partner Biggie is the strongest man in the locker room, bar none. This guy is a 9-time former tag team champion. And Biggie says, and Kevin's very good. Kevin's like, is that it? Biggie says, the wound's still fresh. But Kayla, tonight we shall not be deterred because Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews are gonna feel our power. And then we have Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz versus Kevin Owens and Big E.
A lot of people hated this match. I didn't really understand why. I didn't hate it.
I didn't love it. I didn't
love it. Like, I didn't sit back and be like, NXT matches, I'm always just like, whew, that was a fucking match and a half. I didn't sit back from that match, like, from this match and, like, feel that way, but, like, I also didn't sit back from this match and go,
I thought it was fine. But, like, you compare it to last week's match, the tag team match between Apollo and Sammy against Kevin and Big E, that was a fantastic match. And comparing the two, like, this one is much lesser in comparison.
I guess my thing is that, like, normally I'm kind of on the same page with people, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went onto Twitter to make the promo tweet, and I just see tweet after tweet that's like, this was horrible. This was the ugliest match I've ever seen. And I was like, I must not have been watching.
Yeah,
I must not have been paying that much attention.
I think a lot of it had to do with Commander Aziz and how awkward he looks, especially wrestling in that goddamn uniform.
That's gotta be the sweatiest fucking thing to wrestle in.
And he can barely move. Like, get him some gear. I mean, the fucking ropes around his arm, that's getting in his... Like, you saw that getting in his way.
Yeah. Anyways, so Big E and Apollo start. We get a big old belly-to-belly toss suplex to Apollo. Kevin Owens gets in. There's a big splash from E, and then a senton from Kevin. Kevin starts fighting Apollo in the corner, gets Big E back in. There's a belly-to-back to Apollo. He goes for a vertical suplex, but Apollo knees Big E in the head. And when he gets free of the vertical suplex position... Here's my hiccup. Commander Aziz gets in. There was a big boot to the jaw of E, and Aziz hits him with a nasty fucking body slam ringside. Once we're back in the ring, there's a headlock on E right into a good old suplex. He goes for a second. It feels like we may as well just be on a fucking hamster wheel, because just like one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo gets in. He takes Kevin off the apron. There's an enziguri to Big E. Big E drops Apollo on the edge of the apron. Then Kevin Owens goes up top after tagging in. Hits the swanton onto Apollo, then hits him with a pop-up powerbomb. Aziz, however, breaks up the subsequent cover and headbutts Kevin Owens. Tags himself in afterwards. Clotheslines Big E ringside. And then there's a headbutt to Kevin Owens. Kevin sends Aziz over the top rope. Aziz lands on his feet, drags Kevin out, slams his face into the ring post, and then Sammy tries to distract Kevin while Aziz is standing in the ring. Kevin finally gets back in the ring, and then he gets the Nigerian nail to the throat. And Apollo and Aziz win.
Yes. Yeah. Not a great match, not a horrible match, definitely not a good debut for Aziz. 100%. It sucks that his only other match is a Raw Underground match.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we can take that match for being as good as it was, I guess.
Was it?
You got to see his power. Good? It was okay.
I mean, it was a Raw
better than a lot
Underground
of the matches.
Yeah, so after that we had Kevin Owens backstage with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and he is really selling this Nigerian nail, which I wish was delivered better, because you barely noticed he gave the Nigerian nail. It was the most like nonchalant thing he did in that match.
Yeah.
Like that is not a good delivery. But Kevin Owens walks in and he's like, he's all raspy. 'Cause he got choked. Get me, Sammy. Get me, Sammy. Get me, Sami Zayn. And so now we're getting Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at Hell in a Cell. Not
Yeah.
in a Hell in a Cell.
With the delay of my camera, as I said yak, my eyelid went down, and I was like, what happened to you?
You know, the more I think about it, the more I wish they would just get rid of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and just make it just a stipulation.
They already have it, Mark. It's a steel cage. Now that's Hell in a Cell. That's a cell.
Elizabeth, we get it. But yeah.
I won't accept that you get it until they change things.
I feel like it just really fucks up with the variety if you have like 2 required Hell in a Cell matches that will most likely look the same. At least with like the required matches like Elimination Chamber, they're not gonna look the same. I guess. I don't know.
I don't think that Bailey versus Bianca is going to look the same as Bobby versus Drew by any means.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. But I think
like Randy versus Drew and Bailey versus Sasha was pretty different in its own special way.
Yeah. I guess I wish they would get rid of it and replace it with like a King of the Ring pay-per-view. And move Elimination Chamber to where Hell in a Cell used to be. Make King of the Ring like a stop on the way to WrestleMania. Because it wouldn't have any bearing on WrestleMania itself.
And then we could do the Andre the Giant Battle Royale in the King of the Ring pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Extraneous titles for extraneous men.
Yep. Except they didn't even do that at WrestleMania this year.
Nope, they did it on Smackdown, because SmackDown's the new pay-per-view, I guess.
Yeah. I guess they're putting more importance on the Go Home show, which I kind of get. It hypes up the pay-per-view even more.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, Fox has been liking it, so. But after that promo, we get Shinsuke Nakamura versus King Corbin for the crown.
Which, it makes me confused now, because Corbin was the King of the Ring. So is he still King Corbin?
No, he's now Baron Corbin. He's dropped his polarizing gimmick. Which I'm happy for, because now they can repackage him. I want Constable Corbin back. When he was Constable of Raw.
The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Same.
I don't know. From everything I've seen, I've always liked Baron Corbin more than King Corbin.
Right, but here's the thing for me. Is that going back in time, sort of, like, to an older gimmick doesn't always work. In my opinion.
Yeah, but I feel like Corbin's the Baron Corbin gimmick wasn't like as prominent of a gimmick to where if he went back to it, like it's just his normal self. Like it's Cedric Alexander going back to being a face, which like it doesn't hurt him.
True.
Or it's like it would be like Drew McIntyre going back to his Scottish psychopath gimmick. That definitely would not hurt him. I would love to see him go back to that.
Oh, I would too.
Also, real quick, before we get into the match, we forgot to mention, I don't know how you feel about him, but I want to mention this because I love him. Josh Alexander is making his debut on NJPW tonight, actually.
Josh Alexander.
He's the Impact X Division champion. He was in the Iron Man match against TJP. the one of the best matches Impact has ever put on. Apparently,
Really?
that's what a lot of people are saying. Like it's legendary.
Can I just say, by the way,
Hmm.
I did love how that match bled into the actual Impact episode
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like, I liked that it didn't feel like they were like, well, you've got to finish by this time.
Yeah. And they
That
also
was
weren't
awesome.
like you have to watch all 60 minutes. You can just
And like,
start at the
and the
episode.
fact that like the other people came out
Hmm.
like to watch, like not like in like the pseudo lumberjack way where like people or like in like the backstage way where they're watching on like the TV screen. Like I
Yeah.
liked that. It felt like they were actually interested.
Yeah. I can't wait for Impact to have an actual crowd because that match definitely needed a crowd. Um, but yeah, that was a fucking fantastic match, and that made me love Josh Alexander. Yeah.
Didn't know if it was working.
Okay.
Anyways, shall I begin?
Yes.
Okay. So Corbin immediately tries a roll up on Shinsuke with no luck. There's a kick to the back of Corbin's head. Corbin goes for double boots to the chest of Shinsuke, but Shinsuke catches the boots, slings Corbin through the ropes, and then hits him with the sliding suplex. Sluplex, I think is what I just said. Whoops. Sliding suplex. There's a modified chinlock on Shinsuke. Shinsuke fights back with some body shots, but can't avoid the deep six. We get a one knee backstab right into a chinlock on Corbin, and then a sliding knee to Corbin, and then Corbin suplexes Nakamura.
The backstabber was a little
Botch.
wonky. Yeah.
When I say a one knee backstabber, I don't mean it was intentionally one knee.
Yeah, it looked like he backstabbed him with his crotch. Like none of
Yeah,
his
it was.
knees were against him.
It was a little messy. But then Shinsuke almost hits like an end of days to Corbin, which was very weird.
Yeah.
Um, it didn't look like it was supposed to be like an end of days, but it looked like an end of days.
This was a very
Um,
fast-paced match. Very
yes.
fast-paced, very, very hot match.
Um, so Nakamura goes for the Kinshasa, and Corbin fucking takes his head off at the neck with a clothesline, like
Oh
turns him
yeah.
inside out.
That's like a carrying cross clothesline right there.
There's an elbow to the side of Corbin's head and a knee off the second rope, as well as another one. The third time he tries, he gets caught by Corbin. Corbin goes for a choke slam, but Shinsuke breaks free, sends a Kinshasa to the side of Corbin's face to win the crown. That's all I've got to say on that.
Yep. And the crown will look good on Shinsuke, and hopefully they don't play it to death like they did with Corbin. Because at least going to this, Shinsuke didn't really have a gimmick, so there's nothing to ruin.
It's true. It's nice that he has something now, and I think that like the Mad King kind of thing works for him a little bit.
Yeah. And Shinsuke did used to be a king, I think, in NJPW, and
Yeah, he's the king of strong style, and he had the coolest fucking makeup.
he had the coolest makeup, he had the coolest fucking entrance gear. Would love that they brought something like that back, but I know they're gonna just keep the crown that he has on, unless maybe they make something new for him. Because that definitely was just like a crown they could swap back and forth. So maybe now that Shinsuke actually has it, they'll make something special.
Frankly, we should just be happy that we've got Shinsuke in this position because Shinsuke was being, at this point last year, Shinsuke was being absolutely abused by the WWE. As far as like, they turned him into a fool, more or less.
Remember when he was one of Corbin's lackeys?
No.
That was the start of the pandemic era, because he was in Sammy's group, like he was one of Sammy's cronies with Cesaro.
Yeah.
But
Do
then
that.
Sammy was off TV because of the pandemic, and so Corbin took over right before Money in the Bank.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I do remember that now.
It was around the time of the Orchestra of Destruction.
Yeah, basically, I vividly recall not knowing who the fuck Shinsuke was and not knowing what his vibe was at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked him up and I was like, do people like him? And there was an article that was like, the WWE is wasting this man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, good. Good to know. Glad I signed up for this.
Yeah. King Rami has a good question, which we will get to for the Q&A at the end. Thank you, King Rami, for asking that. But we'll get to it during our Q&A portion after our predictions.
I'm excited to hear it.
It's a pretty good question.
Oh, God, okay. Continue.
You finished with the match, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right before we cut to commercial, we just go to Bianca Belair walking backstage. And then we get her face-to-face with Bayley, which is less of a face-to-face and more so her monologuing in the ring. She says, she kind of goes all over the place. She says, it feels so good to put Bayley in her place. Bayley can also kiss her dreams goodbye at Hell in a Cell. It's just like a bully to dish it out and not take it. Those games almost worked. When someone laughs in your face, that's rough. I was so much more than my bullies could ever dream. I'm not that little kid though. I don't let whatever anyone thinks of me define me. Now I am loud and proud and unapologetically me. Bayley is going to give me everything she's got. She keeps dodging me. So Bayley, Sunday, I don't just want you in the ring. I want you inside Hell in a Cell. You won't be laughing when I drag your face and your hair all over the cell. They're going to beg me to stop. First they try to ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. I actually really like that line. And the way she delivered it too. And then Bayley comes out, and they just start brawling, dragged to the outside, but then they come back in. Bayley gives what was the name of that move? The finish to this brawl. It's gonna bother me. But Bayley stands tall with the title in her hand, and that does not have good signs for Bayley. So that makes it seem very likely that she will lose. And after that, we get Roman in his suite. Jimmy Uso walks in, says, "What up, Boos? Look, man, I thought about what you said. You're right. Might not agree on everything you say, but we're blood, family." Roman says, "Where's your brother?" Jimmy says, "I haven't heard from him all week. Nothing. Tonight, though, if you need my help, I got it." Roman says, "No, I need your brother. We need your brother. Our family is best when it's all together." And King Rami has another question. Thank you for these questions. We actually really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we kind of. Do you want to cover this next? The Otis versus Angela Dawkins?
I mean, I have some notes.
I'm just gonna. I would just summarize it, but if you have actual notes on it, then please, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very quick set of notes. I just have Chad.
Sorry, I found the name of the move. It's called the Rose Plant. That's Bayley's finisher.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
I just didn't know what you were talking about.
And
I also probably could not have named that off the top of my head. So before the bell even rings, Chad slaps Dawkins before the bell rings. That's what my note says. I'm not good at ad-libbing. So Chad slaps Dawkins, runs to ringside. Dawkins chases Chad. Otis shoulder tackles him ringside, and then throws Dawkins' bad shoulder first into the steel steps. I missed some of it. You get back into the ring, and there's a huge lariat to Dawkins, and by the end of it, Dawkins is a withered little shell of a man. Heel turn for the Profits?
No. This is like the push of heel Alpha Academy, and I actually, although he looks disgusting now, I think this look for Otis is different and bold, And I think it could be the start to a great story for them.
I think the reason I don't like this new look is because the beard made me feel like, oh, that's Otis.
Yeah. I
You know?
think it's the opposite of what they did with Jackson Riker. They turned this guy who was unique looking into somebody who is generic looking. And Otis, they turned him. He wasn't
Or Matt
necessary.
Cardona.
Yeah, basically. But Otis wasn't generic looking to start off, but he was in a corner looking the way he did. And now having this new look, it definitely fits his new character, and he could be this monster in the ring now.
Yeah, it ages him a lot.
It does. It does. Because he's like around our age, in his like
Yeah, I
mid
think so.
20s.
Yeah.
Um,
But he looks older now, and
mhm.
it's almost the opposite of like what I've experienced with a lot of other guys. Like a lot of other guys, like they shave their faces and they look younger.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
for some reason, like I don't know, I maybe it's just because like I associate bearded Otis with like nice Otis.
Yeah,
So like
I think
when
it
he still
has.
had it, I was like, that's my little friend Otis.
I think it also has more to do with like if you're like a bigger guy, if you shave your beard, I think it does make you look older. I think it just has to do with the size and the size of your face. But after that, we had Rey Mysterio backstage, just basically praying. He's like praying for himself. It's so sad. Then we had an interview with Cesaro. Oh no, we cut to Roman Reigns in the suite briefly. And then we go to Cesaro in an interview. Kayla asked him if he went too far with Seth, and Cesaro said, "I don't think I went far enough. WWE is my life. I love what I do. Seth tried to take that all away from me." And then Seth walks in. He says, "We have our match on Sunday, so don't worry." Kayla stands up and kind of hands him her mic. And he sits down across from Cesaro and says, "I just came here to tell you that you disgust me. Everything you do and everything you stand for is a disgrace. You don't deserve a single ounce of respect. At Hell in a Cell, I will show you what you deserve. I'm going to put you in your place." I love Psychopath Seth. This is so
It
good.
stresses me out.
Yeah. But then Cesaro said, "I didn't think you had this in you. I respect everything that you said. And I do respect you as a competitor." And he just stands up. And just pushes him over, knocking him out of the chair. And like no brawl breaks out or anything. He just does that and walks away. This feud is honestly like one of my favorites going on right now. It doesn't stand out in any way other than it just being extremely chaotic. Also, thank you, King Rami, for the follow.
Yes, thank you. Seth is like a cat at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, he's like a cat.
He's got about as much like impulse control.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's so funny. Everything they do every week has been hilarious. Like we go from the most chaotic ding dong hello to somehow the most chaotic interview that wasn't even chaotic, because you just had Seth sitting there just nonchalantly saying, "You disgust me. I don't respect you. You're nothing to me." It's just amazing. And then finally, we get Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship.
Roman Reigns versus Rey. Immediately, there's a chair.
Yeah,
That's it.
I fucking loved how hard Rey was going after Roman in this. Like, he was motivated, he was driven after what happened to Dominic. It wasn't just like you had all that promo build up and then the match happened and it was like, okay, this is a match.
Yeah. So right off the bat, there's a fucking chair. Ray has it. They fight over the chair for a little while. Ray goes back to ringside, hits Reigns with an extinguishing stuffs. You know,
Fire extinguisher.
the spray.
Yeah.
Hits him with that first. And then the fire extinguisher itself. Just bops him.
Just clocks him with it.
Yeah. Then Ray gets a toolbox, doesn't open it up, just smacks it into Roman's face. It's sort of like Ray's show and tell of destruction.
I love whenever a toolbox comes out and the tools never come out of the box. They just use the box.
Because everybody knows they're never going to be able to do another Triple H Batista moment. It's vile.
Oh yeah.
Vile.
I just want someone to use I want someone to use a hammer. It's like a ball peen hammer. Just use it on like someone's hand.
Go watch a Nick Gage match or something.
Well, you can have like a foam hammer. Like there's prop hammers you can use. Like Triple H used to use a sledgehammer.
Yeah, and it was a real sledgehammer, Mark.
It was not a real sledgehammer.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it might have been. I don't know.
I didn't expect you to back down.
I don't know. But I don't know. I think they should just. I want to see someone like open up a toolbox and they pull out like a fucking toilet plunger. Just like some random shit inside of a toolbox.
So there's chair shots to the back of Roman. Ray then places a chair against Roman's back and then drop kicks it into him, which feels like it'd be more painful to Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Ray then puts the chair around Roman's neck and drives Roman into the wall of the cell and then the post. There's a headbutt to Ray. Roman attempts to spear Ray, but Ray sidesteps him and sends Roman through a table that is propped up in the corner that I did not see get propped up into the corner. But it's there. Roman goes right through it. Ray gets into the ring, or Ray gets put into the ring by Roman, who gets up. Ray is then nearly in a good position to sunset flip Bro into the side of the cage, but Roman hangs on, avoids that, throws Ray into like the powerbomb position. Ray punches Roman, gets into kind of like a head scissors position, but Roman then just says, okay, fuck this, swings him into the side of the cage, then sort of just launches him a la Dominic into the side of the cage. We go to commercial because there's 400 commercials during this match.
Yeah, they gotta extend that time.
We get back into the ring after the commercial. Rose just pummeling Ray in the corner. We get a fucking Superman punch.
It was not a well set up one.
It was a horrible Superman punch.
Could have done better with a spear.
Well, interesting. Roman gets ready to do a spear and gets drop kicked. Right after that. Fucking, I only saw the tail of the cat.
Mm-hmm.
It just gave me a heart attack. I'm not doing well tonight.
Yeah, I can tell.
So Roman throws Ray back up into the powerbomb position, but Ray flips it into a flying head scissors successfully this time. The 619 gets set up, but Roman just gets up, punches Ray. Goes to spear him again. Ray sidesteps him again, sending Roman into the post. Hits the 619. Hits the steel chair back. Hits Roman over the back of the shoulders with it. And then we get Ray sets the chair on top of Roman as he's laying down on the ground and then decides, it's the best option for me right now is to frog splash down onto the chair. So I also take a chair shot in the process. Bueno. Beautiful.
He should have just gotten onto the top rope and thrown the chair at him from the top rope. I love thrown chair spots. They're always so funny.
It was so... I hate moves like this because it's so goofy. It's like, That's gotta hurt you.
What would have been good is if he like held the chair onto him and then did the splash onto Roman. So it
That would
was
be
like
better.
a weighted chair coming down on top of him. That would have made more sense. It probably also would have been very dangerous.
So Ray goes back up top again, hits another frog splash, this time onto just Roman. And then goes for another. But Roman gets up, catches Ray on that third attempt, power bombs him into the side of the cell from the ring, and you just hear Paul Heyman go, "Oh my god!"
Oh.
And then once we get back into the ring, there's a sort of modified guillotine on Ray, and Ray taps pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
Ray said, "My son's not that important."
Yeah. Yeah.
Poor Dom.
I wish he would have just like taken it until he passed out. Like that would have been a lot better.
Ray said, "I'm walking out of this fucking ring."
Yeah.
And then the cell lifts up. Jay comes out.
Jimmy.
He gets super kicked. Oh no! Oh no!
How could you?
I'm so sorry. My brain, for some reason, rewired itself and said Auburn Streak Jay and not Jimmy. It's the hair.
How could
They're
you?
identical twins.
Yeah, but they've done such a good job differentiating them, especially with the colored hair. Like, you knew going into this that Jimmy had the man bun.
I know, because Jimmy came back and I was like, I like his hair.
Well, anyway.
Jimmy comes out, and at first, Mark and I are being assholes, and we're like, he's gonna super kick him. He's gonna super kick him. No, he doesn't. He just lifts his hand, celebrates his win. Roman gets pissed that Ray is still moving, so he throws him into another guillotine. Ray taps out again.
You know what, though?
That's where the episode ends.
You know what, though? I don't want this feud to be over.
This was sick, though.
I want more. This is a feud that definitely needs a bit more. Take it to, like, Money in the Bank. Like, this was really good. I don't want Ray to win at all, but...
No. But yeah, this was good, and I'm mad that it didn't go to the pay-per-view. I would have rather something else happen tonight. Just because this was something that would have done well with, like, halfway through a monologue from Roman.
I think because they are... at least SmackDown is embracing the fact that these pay-per-views are the ends of chapters. And so they want to use this pay-per-view to end the Bayley-Bianca feud, the Sami-Kevin feud, and the Seth and Cesaro feud. Ideally these will end. But it does seem like the point where all three could come to a conclusion here. And so if you have this feud that's kind of just starting, they would want to stick that as the hype match, which it did a really good job at that. Yeah, so that's the episode. Stick around, everybody. After our bests of the night, we have our Q&A to get to, or we have our predictions, and then we'll get to the Q&A section. But Liz, while you set up the best of the night sign, I'm going to give a quick update on the top 10 in the WWE Power Rankings, or the Pinfall Podcast Power Rankings. And number 10 is actually interesting because it's split up a tag team. So, number 10, one half of the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, Sam Stoker, leaving out Lewis Howley in number 11. Number 9, the NXT champion himself, Walter. Number 8, the NXT women's champion, Raquel Gonzalez. The only woman on this list. Number 7, the WWE, or no, the current challenger for the WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. Also, I didn't mean Raquel Gonzalez is the only woman on this list in any way, but the fact that she's the only kind of strong-looking woman in the WWE right now. That's why she's, because our top 10 isn't based on subjectivity; it's based on wins.
Yeah, no, it's based on numbers. In case anybody's wondering, it's
Yeah.
not based on our opinions. If it were based on our opinions, I don't like Raquel. So
If it was based on our opinions, half the people on here would not be on here. Anyway, number 6, still technically undefeated, Mansoor.
King.
They've stopped playing up him being undefeated, even though he technically still is undefeated.
Because they're probably trying to break that streak, but they just don't know how to without like. However, I need some more Mansoor Mustafa interactions, and like I need it stat because that's the only thing that's got my interest right now on NXT, on Raw. So,
number 5, the current NXT champion, Karrion Kross. I think this is the first time he's on the list. Number 4, the current WWE champion, Bobby Lashley. Number 3, the one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. One of 3 people that share, or one of 2 that shares the same tier as Roman Reigns, Wes Lee. Number 2, the other half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, the second person that shares the same tier as Roman Reigns, Nash Carter. And then number 1, who else but the Tribal Chief, head of the table, Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, who has now actually overtaken Darby Allin in the overall top 10 of major promotions. He's now number 2, second to Kenny Omega. But Darby Allin might tie after today during Dynamite, depending on how that match goes. All right, so bests of the night, not a lot to talk about. Promo of the night. This one will be kind of tough, a little bit. We started off with Rey Mysterio in the ring, confronting Roman with the cell around him. This is a really great promo by Rey Mysterio. One of the best promos we've seen of him lately, especially coming out of that horrible feud with Murphy and Seth. Some really fantastic stuff here. Even though what we got from Roman was pretty basic, Rey killed it. And thank you, Miriam, for your question. Then we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Gorilla. Oh, I love this interaction. These two are so good together. Like, I want to get them in a tag team together, like, for long term, but at the same time, I don't want Big E to be further separated from the New Day. Then we had Kevin Owens with Adam Pearce and Sonya. I mean, that's fine. Then we had Bianca Belair facing off against Bayley. That was fine. There wasn't a lot to it. Nothing really special. I think this was mostly done just to hype up the match a bit and kill time. Then we had Roman in the suite with Jimmy, where Jimmy actually concedes for what seems like nothing. Like, there was no fight to get him to concede. He just said that I thought about it. So, yeah, whatever. Fine. Then we had Cesaro's interview where he's confronted by Seth, and that was just hilarious. Hilarious stuff. But I think my pick for promo of the night is Rey Mysterio. I mean, he killed that promo. It was one of his best promos he's done in a long ass time.
He's been doing a great job with promos lately. It's really awesome to see.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't know I don't know what's different about the Roman storyline as opposed to everything else in SmackDown, but here he's getting like a lot more personality. He's getting a lot more motivation, better writing, better booking. It's like I think Paul Heyman's in control of this storyline directly. Paul Heyman has done wonders for WWE.
I hope that he's like actually having a say in this.
I think he
I
does.
want that to be true.
I think I heard somewhere that he has a lot of sway in this story. But I mean, he brought in a ton of guys into the main roster, like Aleister Black, one of the most unique guys we've ever seen on the main roster.
He called Alistair apparently after he got released.
Really?
And was like, I still think that you're capable of good things. I just don't think that this was the place for you. And now the WWE executives are like, oh, we could bring him back. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't think
Oh God, what's he gonna do? Feud with Big E for like a month?
It's like, I think you may have like burnt that bridge just a little bit much.
Yeah. Although Aleister doesn't seem too salty about it. He seems more eager to just share his character and his storyline, which I love seeing somebody so passionate about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on to Wrestler of the Night. Again, not a whole lot to talk about. We started off with Apollo and Aziz versus Big E and Kevin. I'm going with Big E. It was between him and Apollo. I think I liked Big E a little more. There wasn't a whole lot to highlight here. But yeah, I liked Big E the most. Then we had Shinsuke versus King Corbin. I liked Shinsuke the most. His offense was the most unique out of the two, and seemed the most impactful. And there was more of it than what Corbin did. I like that Shinsuke has a lot more variety in his moveset than Corbin does. But not to knock on Corbin in any way.
Oh.
Then finally we had Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio, and I gotta go with Rey. For half the match, Roman seemed like he wasn't even trying to fight back. Especially like when he had his head in the chair. When Rey was literally putting the chair behind his back, ran all the way across the ring, and drop kicked him. It seemed like he didn't try.
I can't imagine what's gonna happen next.
What's that? Cold steel on my back?
I'm sure this is fine.
But yeah, I mean, not to discount Rey, like what he did, he was absolutely fantastic. He was driven, he felt motivated. He was just giving this match his all, which I love to see. Rey Mysterio is an incredibly talented wrestler, and we saw a lot of that in this match. And yeah, and he took some nasty bumps too, which is great. Just wish he hadn't tapped out.
He tapped out so fast, and that like
That's more of the booking though. That's not him. That's the booking.
It's totally not his fault. If we were in a pay-per-view situation, I guarantee you he probably would have just waited it out.
Yeah. They might have thought that they'd be crunched for time. And maybe this will continue on to like a contention between him and Dom. Like Dom will be like, why did actually no, Dom wouldn't be like, why didn't you just get choked out? I don't know. Maybe Aaliyah has to run in now and face Roman. Or Angie.
No, first it's gonna be Angie. Let Angie do it.
No.
Angie's gone through so much shit.
Angie would wait till all of her kids have died.
No, because Angie has seen so much shit happen to both Aaliyah and Dom that I think at this point she'd just be like, Ray? You're letting way too much happen. You're letting them get away with way too much.
And then Angie gets laid out, and then like the ghost of Eddie Guerrero comes out and faces Roman. I'm sorry, was that too far?
I think he took it a little too far there, yeah. But like, I feel like if anybody were going to be the one to go next in the Mysterio clan, Angie probably has some moves saved up.
Yeah. Yeah. She could guillotine Roman. Imagine that.
Roman would be like, I don't hit women. And Angie would be like, that's fine. Just get in there.
Yeah. But my pick for Wrestler of the Night, it's Rey Mysterio. He killed it this whole episode.
I'll take it. Can't say no to that.
And now match of the night. First was the tag team between Apollo, Aziz, Kevin, and Big E. This is fine. I don't know. It was okay. This was mostly to show off Aziz and his debut, and it did not succeed at that. He did not look good. He didn't succeed. Everyone else was just fine.
Sorry, Aziz. I think you're a cutie pie.
Maybe they'll give you some actual gear next time.
It's not your fault. It really isn't. We know you're capable.
Unless it was his idea that he wear the army fatigues. Or the uniform or whatever. Officer's uniform.
Doubt it is. I doubt it is, only because he's so new.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really gets a say.
Yeah. Then we had Shinsuke versus Corbin. This was a fun match. It was a fun, fast-paced match, but I don't think it was the kind of quality to wrap up this feud that seems to have gone on a while. I feel like if we're gonna have a match to wrap it up, it should have gone on a little longer. And actually seemed like there was actual belief that Corbin could win, because at no point did it seem like he'd beat Shinsuke. He got that deep 6 and that was it.
Yeah.
And then finally we had the Hell in a Cell match between Rey and Roman, and this rocked. This was great. If you're gonna use any match to hype up the pay-per-view, this is it. This match alone has done more to hype up the pay-per-view than the entirety of Raw has.
Yeah.
Besides having me excited for Drew to never be able to challenge for the title again. Holy fuck.
My fingers are fucking crossed.
Yeah, this match wins it. This is a great match. 100%.
It's your choice?
Yeah.
It'll be my choice too.
It's a Rey Mysterio sweep. He deserves it. So to run it back, our promo of the night is Rey Mysterio confronts Roman. Wrestler of the night, Rey Mysterio. Match of the night, Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio. Alright. So, you ready for our predictions?
Yes, I have to type them out.
Okay.
I have not made my predictions yet.
And we'll go over our Cats predictions, which if you have not seen, please go to our YouTube, the Pinfall Podcast, and check it out. Because our cat...
That's your required reading for this episode.
Our cat makes some horrible decisions. But...
Based on efficiency and food.
Yes. However, sometimes she's right. It also doesn't help that we were kind of fucked over with this pay-per-view. They eliminated one of the matches and added 2 more.
Yeah.
All
Sorry,
right.
Pabuta.
All right. So, are you ready to start?
Ready?
So first up is Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler. And give me yours because you're writing yours down. I don't want to give you any influence. Mine are already written. I'm not making any changes.
Let me just get my fucking secretary glasses on here now. I can't see what I'm typing.
Oh, well, while you think, let me explain how our predictions work. For those who have joined late, for every pay-per-view, we do predictions on the outcome of matches. We predict the winner, or in the case of triple threats and tag team matches, we'll take the pin. But there's none of those happening at Hell in a Cell. And for every incorrect prediction, we have to finish a can of hard seltzer or beer before the podcast is over. So if we get 3 wrong, we have to drink 3 cans. And whoever has the most correct predictions After the pay-per-view, they will be crowned the Pinfall Podcast Prediction Champion and have to deliver a punishment to the loser. Now, the title was supposed to be vacated after NXT TakeOver in Your House, but Liz wanted to flip a coin to decide, and she retained because of that. But things will change this time. Trust me.
Yeah, they probably will.
I don't know. I made some bold predictions. Made some bold ones.
All right, so I'm saying Alexa Bliss.
I am saying Alexa Bliss as well. And the cat.
She's got the power of God and anime on her side.
And we're also competing with the cat. If we do worse than the cat, then that's a real issue.
That's if we do worse than the cat, we're both taking a punishment. I don't know what.
we barely did better than the cat in your house. Barely.
At one point.
All right, and the cat said Shayna Baszler. All right, so next up is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. I am solid in this pick.
I think I'm gonna say Charlotte Flair.
I'm gonna say Charlotte as well.
Because I'm trying to think about it, and it just seems like Rhea's not vibing with the title.
Yeah.
I think they're like, well, we've got an out, so.
Vince likes to go with those high personality people with the most volume of personality. But the cat decided to go with Rhea Ripley. That's another difference.
I think I decided to go with Rhea Ripley when I was watching the cat make her predictions, and then I changed my mind.
So up next we have Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match. What do you say?
I'm going with Bobby Lashley for Please for the Love of God.
I'm going with Bobby Lashley as well.
The way you paused, I really thought you were going to say Drew McIntyre.
No, but the cat went with Drew McIntyre. The cat's just picking different from us every time. Also, thank you to D-Gen. Thanks for the love. Great to see you, dude. So
I hope you don't think that our predictions are horrible. Thank you for joining us, though.
I mean, I feel like this is a very predictable pay-per-view. So next up we have Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Okay, I'm gonna say Bianca.
I'm saying Bianca as well, and the cat is also going with Bianca. So far we've no difference.
We might have to think of something to change it if we don't have any opposites.
Don't worry. There's 2 new added matches, and we might think differently for these.
So the cat said Bayley?
The cat said Bianca.
Okay. I'm glad that it's a family choice here.
Alright, so now the 2 added matches, since Roman and Rey is not happening anymore at Hell in a Cell. We have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. What do you think?
Oh, man. Trying to think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Sami might win.
You feel Sami?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going with Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I have a feeling Sami's not going to get anything in this feud. He's playing the caricature of a liberal, and Vince is like, let's just bury that shit. He's like, let's give him nothing.
Alright, for Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, who do you have?
Do you have your pick?
I've got mine lined up.
Okay, I'm going with Seth Rollins.
Okay. I'm also going with Seth.
Oh, so we have one match to decide it. Okay.
One separate match.
I'm saying Seth because I have a feeling they're going to build him up for SummerSlam.
I also think that he's like absolutely losing his shit, and there'd be nothing better than Seth Rollins standing over Cesaro's limp ass body and being like, "Haha, bitch."
Mm. Oh, they might. There's no pay-per-view between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, right? SummerSlam's, yeah, there's nothing in between. And they're doing John Cena at SummerSlam. So Seth might be doing something else. I don't know. He might take the IC title from Apollo.
Um, John Cena has not confirmed or denied that he will be at SummerSlam, though.
Yeah, well, John Cena's full of shit. Remember last year's SummerSlam? When he trolled everyone?
That was rude. That was rude and uncalled for.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got our predictions set. We have one match differentiating us. That'll be the decider. Let's hope that it doesn't come down to a no contest. Otherwise, we'd be down to another coin flip. Or
I don't think it'll come down to that.
should we do champions advantage for ties?
Yeah, I think so.
Although you hate that.
For us, I don't.
Huh?
For us, I don't.
Even if it was me with the title?
Yeah, even if it was you.
Okay. Alright, so let's go to the Q&As real quick. I don't think we have anything on the YouTube. Let me just see. I don't know why I closed out of it. Yeah, we don't have anything on YouTube. So we've got a bunch of questions in the chat. If anybody has any more, please leave them in the chat. So first up from King Rami, what do you guys think about Jeff Hardy? Should he get a WWE Championship title run? I think he should retire, honestly, for the sake of his body, not because I don't like him.
I think that Jeff Hardy should get maybe one last push before he goes. Because if he were to go out on the note that he's on right now, it'd be kind of a shame. I think that he deserves maybe one last push for the U.S. title against Sheamus. Maybe
match against Bobby.
Yeah, I think Sheamus is probably the most viable option right now. But I think that he deserves one more, and maybe that's how he goes out. Because he's getting old, he looks more and more tired every match. I think that if he goes out, he should go out on a good note, because he has given his everything for the WWE and for wrestling in general. So I think he deserves a little something.
I definitely don't think that he should get a whole title run. Not to say he doesn't deserve it, but I feel like he's just in the point in his career where he would probably just do best pulling a Kurt Angle, where Kurt Angle retired by getting over King Corbin or Baron Corbin as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
If Bobby Lashley took out Jeff Hardy and he retired from that, then that would like put over Bobby as like, hey, I retired a goddamn legend.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah. I don't think that Jeff will retire anytime soon, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he still seems to be so in love with wrestling, so.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like he's just he's doing main event matches to kind of just take it easy and get a lot of money.
Whatever makes him happy.
Yeah. And kind of in the same vein, but with Dolph Ziggler, do you guys think he deserves more? Would definitely love to see him at the top. He's so underrated.
Dolph, in order for him, in my eyes, to get more, I think he needs to be put in a really good storyline.
Right.
Because when Dolph's in a good storyline and he can like deliver hardcore promos, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But when he's in a shitty storyline, like he's been in the past few Dirty Dogs, feuds that he's had.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fucking it grates on me. So I think that like his talents are wasted because we know he's good at it. Yeah, we know he's good on the mic.
Yeah. Like one of his best feuds in the past few years was against Drew. Um this past year. And like that was some legendary stuff that he did because he was just being peak heel, putting on fantastic matches. I think Dolph Ziggler's best is when he's putting over other guys, because him and the Miz are kind of in that same area where they don't really succeed on their own, believably.
Yeah.
But if they could definitely turn that around, SmackDown would be capable of it. I'd believe it.
I do miss mid 2000s, early 2000 teens Dolph,
Mm-hmm.
where Dolph was like this one man show of just like being fucking out of his head, like pumped up.
Yeah.
I miss that. I feel like, and I think that he's the way I've felt about him lately is a product of the writing of him, because I feel like his writing lately has just been such a nightmare realm.
Because he's been in a tag team.
And it's not a good tag team. Let Rob Roode fucking go off and do his own shit. Let Dolph do his own shit.
Mm.
They're good on their own.
Yeah.
They're I think they're horrible in a tag team.
Yeah. So to kind of answer your question more concisely, based on how he's being written now, no, they would need a long time to build him up to where he should be in a big title run position, because he definitely is in no shape to do that right now.
Yeah, I'd love to see it though.
Yeah,
In
but
singles.
would love to see him like feuding Roman Reigns, pulling off some fantastic promos there. You know. Let's see. Miriam asked, "Do you guys think we'll have any surprises at this pay-per-view? Any debuts or betrayals or the like?" Would have thought something about Roman, but now no. I don't think any debuts.
We might get the odd commercial, or not commercial, but like ad that's like coming soon.
Like a
Like it's a
teaser.
silhouette of a person that we don't know, and it's probably Roddy Strong. And
Becky.
I'm just like, yeah. Listen, so my dumbass believed Sean Ross Sapp for the last fucking time. Never again, because my dude's like got a big scoop on Becky Lynch. It's literally just that she's been like watching matches at the PC and training. And she's jacked apparently.
She's jacked. She's watching matches, which means that she's not like exclusively training. She's.
We've been told that to expect her sooner rather than later. But I believe that Becky Lynch is coming back too many fucking times lately for me to feel.
She's coming back, okay? She will.
I know she's coming back. It's just I feel like I've like believed like, oh, this pay-per-view will be the one. But I think this pay-per-view will be the one.
She's not coming back in a pay. She'll be coming back the next episode.
No, I think she'll come back next SmackDown, but I think that there will be something that leads up to her coming back in this pay-per-view.
Okay.
I'd love to see something that's promoting Mia. I'd love to see something that's promoting Roddy.
I'd love to see Bray come back somehow.
Something with Bray would be awesome. Maybe we'll get that. I mean, if he's gonna come back anywhere, Yak is definitely the place.
Are we sure about that? Because a lot of people fucking hated him in 2019's Hell in a Cell.
Apparently the WWE already forgot about it, so. Hey. Yeah, I want to believe so badly that we'll get something special.
Yeah.
But I've been let down by so many pay-per-views lately, and I feel like they're really holding out. Oh, please don't lick my toes. Um, I feel like they're holding out until we have crowds. I think they're gonna hold out on really big shit until Money in the Bank.
My thing is with this pay-per-view, it's like there's got to be a reason they moved Hell in a Cell to now. Like, why did they move it? There's like, is there something involving the cell that's going to come into play um for this pay-per-view to make a big shift? Because otherwise they could have just put in like Stomping Grounds or Great Balls of Fire or some shit.
That is true. So
Why
you
did
think something special is gonna happen?
I think, but I can't predict what. Definitely nothing with KO and Sammy because that was the last second. Seth Rollins and Cesaro was also last second, so probably nothing there either.
I don't think anything will happen with Bianca or Bailey.
You don't think so?
No. Um,
Is he?
there's just not a lot of room.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby has Kofi waiting for him after this feud, so nothing's gonna happen there. But you know, I think something's gonna happen with Bianca and Bailey. I think that'll be the match where something happens.
It would make sense because then if Becky were to come back, that's probably where she's gonna come back to. I
And
imagine she's coming back to SmackDown because she's way too good to go to.
Raw's already got a lot more women than SmackDown does.
Yeah, 6.
Well, now more because they've got Piper Niven and Eva Marie.
Piper Niven.
What did I say?
No, I'm saying like Eva Marie's not doing shit.
Yeah, and they'll probably still put a title on her.
Glad we're all having fun. But
Um,
yeah, I don't think anything special will happen, but I hope you're right.
Another question: what is both your guys' dream match, dead or alive? Ooh, that's a good question. One of mine is probably Kenny Omega and Johnny Gargano.
That's a good one.
Like Kenny with the Elite and Johnny with the Way. That would make for some great promos, some great side action.
I want to be more creative than I'm being right now. I feel bad about this, but Jay White versus Finn Balor would be really sick, I think.
Would be.
In my humblest of opinions. As far as a more modern match would go, I would say I've got a lot of fantasy bookings in my head with Jay White where I'm just like, please come over here.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're happy where you are right now, but I miss you, Rat King.
Maybe
I want you on TV.
ooh. You know what? This is like a dream match, but it's very doable. Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Imagine those like Seth right now. Seth like the chaotic little demon against Kofi. That would make for some great stuff.
It would be really sick.
Hmm.
This just came to mind. One of the Seidel's and Aleister Black would be a really sick match. I'm not saying that's my dream match, but that would be a really sick match, I think.
Definitely Matt Seidel. He's more exciting to watch than Mike.
We don't trust Mike in this house.
Maybe oh man. Anthony Ogogo and Roman Reigns. No.
That would be a good match.
Anthony Ogogo and Kurt Angle.
Give me Chad versus Kurt Angle, father against son.
It's like Dom and Ray together. Like it's just chaos. It's violence.
I would love to see and I'm sure this. Let me see if this happened. Let me search it before I say it out loud. I don't want to be wrong about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think it did happen. What I'd really like to see, and this did happen already.
Mm-hmm.
I think multiple times. But just in person, I guess I'd love to see um Roddy Piper versus Shawn Michaels.
Okay. Okay.
That'd be like a dream match to actually watch. I know it's happened, but like for me to physically experience.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is my last one. I'm trying to think of an opponent. Because I want Prime Stone Cold. Prime Stone Cold and Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Just the nonchalantness throughout the entire match. That would be so good.
Stone Cold's nonchalantness is so much different from okay. Um from like Orange Cassidy's. Like they've
That's why
got
it would
two very
work.
different vibes.
That's why it would work.
Dude, give me Hangman versus Stone Cold.
No, because they're like the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Actually, also more realistically, Kenny Omega and Adam Page.
It's definitely happened.
I don't think so.
It had to have happened.
Probably, but I don't know.
I know they were. Yeah. Also, just because I was trying to figure something out, I just found out that Wardlow is Kenny and Hangman fought at Full Gear
Okay.
because they used to be like pals, and
Yeah,
then
they
they
were a
were
tag
not
team.
pals. Yeah. Um, but I just decided to look up Wardlow, and apparently his build height is 6'3", and I was like, I feel like I don't feel like that's right. There's just something about Wardlow that makes me feel like he's at least 6'5". Like, I mean, Drew McIntyre stands over him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also my last dream match is second to last because I've got another one. MJF versus Chris Jericho, just so that goddamn feud can end.
That's fair. Let me see if this is happening.
And then lastly, um,
Okay.
Britt Baker versus Bailey.
So I was gonna finish on a women's match too.
Okay.
Becky Lynch versus Lita.
Okay.
I think that would be sick, and maybe we make it a triple threat with Bailey on the side.
All right. Last question. Is there hope for the Hurt Business getting back together ever?
No, there is not. I don't know.
There is not.
I doubt it.
Unless we get a Swerve and Kofi joins the Hurt Business and Xavier, there's no way.
I mean, the Hurt Business is still alive, but the Hurt Business as we knew it, I don't think is going to ever come back because I think Vince was intimidated by it.
Sheldon,
honestly.
yeah. Sheldon's not joining back. I doubt we'll see Sheldon on TV ever again. You know.
I wouldn't say that just yet. Actually, I would say that. I think that's fair. Sorry. Only because Cedric seems to not be focused on that anymore at all. But yeah, unfortunately, I feel like we are not going to get any semblance of the Hurt Business again, and that it just fucking breaks my little heart, honestly, because that was an incredible faction, and Vince destroyed it because of the inherent racism of the WWE.
Don't say WWE as a whole.
Of Vince McMahon, fine. Yeah. I won't villainize the entire WWE, I guess. But you know, that's why. And it's a shame because like we know that MVP and who was it? Was it MVP and Bobby or MVP and Shelton? They went to go talk to Vince. And Vince doubled down on wanting to break them up basically after that. Because they spoke up to him.
Yeah, I think it was MVP and Bobby.
They basically said, like, this is making money. This is like, people are interested in this. For once.
And Vince is like, no, I like breaking up tag teams. I hate
Vince,
Raw.
To know that Vince then said, No, now I'm super breaking you guys up.
Hmm.
That's what makes me think we'll never get it back. 'Cause I loved the fan theories prior, like right after they broke up, where like they were like, well, they're gonna get back together. Bobby just needs them out of the way for this match, and then like they can kind of come in and like blah blah blah. And it was so hopeful. It was
You
so
thought.
hopeful.
You thought.
God.
All right. Well, that's all of our questions. Liz, would you like to close out the show? Our go
Yeah.
home episode to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Thank you so much if you tuned in tonight. That's probably the most questions we've ever had to answer, and I appreciate it so much because the Q&A section is still very new, and it's always wonderful when we have people submitting questions. So yeah, thank you guys so much for doing that. Please, I'm trying to finish. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you didn't tune in tonight, but you tuned in the future, thank you so much for tuning in. I guess happy, I don't know, July 4th. That's coming up.
July 4th's coming up.
Tune in Sunday,
Pride.
Sunday,
Pride's coming up.
or Hyak,
Mm-hmm.
Hell in a Cell, or
Father's
also
Day.
the noise that Finn Balor makes every time he does a chop.
Father's Day's coming up.
Oh,
Sunday.
that's a polarizing day, though, isn't it? You know what? If you got a father that you like, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to my father, and your father, and your father.
Or father you know.
A man that's been nice to you before. Happy Father's Day to him.
Yeah. Your sugar daddy.
Your dog.
No?
Maybe your cat.
Well,
Happy Father's Day, Pepita.
if anything, you're the father to the cat.
Yeah,
The cat is not your father.
I'm the fuck to the cat. Happy Father's Day to me.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day to you. All right. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you on Sunday for Hell in a Cell. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. You can check out all of our previous episodes there, as well as Pepita Predicts, our polarizing series where our cat predicts pay-per-views. Please subscribe to our Twitch. If you subscribe, you don't have to wait for me to put the episodes on YouTube. You will get them immediately. Right after they're done, and you can get the past 2 weeks of episodes right on there, and you get all of our emotes and cool stuff immediately. And our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. My Twitter is at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And thank you all so much for watching. We hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you Sunday for Yak.
Yak.
Have a great night, everybody, and have a fantastic weekend.